Illuminati, and our project is certificate generation and validation using Ethereum. We designed a digital project for generation and verification of certificates using Ethereum. The application has two login sections for issuers who are responsible for generating certificates and receivers who fetch the issued certificates. Apart from this, the application also consists of a verification section allowing anyone to validate the certificate when a particular person's address is given. Our aim with this application is to generate authentic and secure certificates associated with the transparency feature of the blockchain. Coming to the system architecture, we have three parts in system architecture. The first part is certificate generation. Here we have the login component which enables the issuer to log in and authenticate the issuer. The issuer fills out a form with required details and submits the form on the front end. The application then uses Web3 library interface with the MetaMask browser component. The application then makes a function call to the smart contracts with the address and hash value. When MetaMask receives this call, it prompts the user to confirm and signs the transaction. After the transaction is signed, MetaMask interacts with the smart contract to put the hash in the blockchain contract. When it is completed successfully, MetaMask then returns the transaction success status to the front end, which then alerts the users. The second phase of system architecture consists of certificate fetching. In certificate fetching, the receiver logs in and authenticates on the front-end application. A call is then made to fetch the certificate using Web3 library in the receiver main component to retrieve all certificates associated with the receiver. This request is then forwarded to the MetaMask, which interacts with the contract using the current user wallet address to retrieve any stored hashes associated with the recipient and sends them to the front-end application. Once the data is received, we render all available certificates in card format with key certificate details. When the user clicks on Get Certificate for the appropriate card, the certificate selected is displayed.
The third system architecture would be certificate verification. If an organization or an individual needs to validate the certificate, they can do so through the application's certificate verification portal, which does not require any login. It's just necessary for the user to have a legitimate blockchain wallet. When a user provides a valid address for certificate verification and submits it, a fetch certificate by address call is made to the verification component to receive the certificate's verification status. This request is routed to the MetaMask deployed smart contract, which checks for the address and verifies the certificate. It returns data to the front-end application that includes the certificate's name, date of issuance, and reason for issuance, allowing the user to determine whether the certificate is valid or not. Coming to the technology stack that we have used, we chose React for the front-end application development because of its component-based approach and virtual DOM facility. React is a lot faster than other frameworks. And we use web3.js, which is the best blockchain network interaction library in the market so far, with a very nice active user forum. And MetaMask is one of the easy to use crypto wallet with browser support, and Solidity and Remix IDE for smart contract deployment and development. Coming to the phases of implementation, the first phase of implementation would be planning and environment setup. In this phase, we tried out different applications and different tools, and we have done environment setup for our project. And in the second phase, we have implemented contracts using Solidity and Remix IDE. And here are a few functions that we have implemented. The store certificate method that accepts address of the receiver and the data hash that is to be stored in the contract from the issuer, and returns transaction status as a promise, success or reject. And then we have implemented get certificate method that fetches the certificate of the current user using their address as key, and returns the certificate data hash from the block. Then we have also implemented the get certificate by address for the verification method that accepts any user address as input and fetches validity of the certificate for the user verification component, returning the basic certificate data for verification.
Implementation, which is front-end development in React. So I'm going to show you the website. So coming to this, we have three major components, namely administrator, user, and to verify. So firstly, administrator has a login page, and when we try to log in, let me enter the details. When we try to log in, a form is displayed, so we can enter the details and create a certificate for a student with a ID, and we can enter the date and reason for award. So after creating the certificate, the certificate is generated and stored in a smart contract storage in Ethereum blockchain. And after issuing, coming to the receiver, the receiver should log in as well. Let me log in. So when the receiver logs in, the wallet address is fetched and the details of the certificate are shown as over here. And coming to the third part, there is a verify part where we can verify any certificate using the address. So this is a main front-end components of the project. And after that, the third phase of implementation was testing the application. So we tested the application. Basically, we have ensured that the application is user friendly and works as intended. We checked if all the components are working. We made sure that the smart contract calls from front end to back end are fail proof.
Our project on certificate generation and validation using Ethereum aims to create a difference in using blockchain technology for real world applications. We have successfully created a user friendly interface which proved to be effective, efficient, and secure. We would now like to show a demo for you.
So coming to the demo of the application, how the application works. Here is the homepage of the application CertManager, and we have login as administrator, login as user, and to verify the certificate button. So now I am enacting as administrator, and I'll be creating a certificate for one of the student. So now I'm logging in as administrator, and I'll give a specific administrator email and password. So this will take me to the form where I can generate the certificate by giving valid details of the receiver. So here I have to give the receiver's name, and I have to give this ID of the receiver, which has been mapped to their wallet address in the backend in JSON format. And now I'm giving the ID, and then I am giving the date of issuance, and the reason for award. When I click on create certificate, it will give me a preview of the certificate, and also lets me to check every detail is correct. And if everything is perfect, I'll be confirming the transaction on the MetaMask. So here is a MetaMask tab. So admin will be sending this details to the receiver, and here is what the estimated gas is. And now if I confirm, the transaction will process. And once the transaction is processed, I'll be getting a success message alert as certificate stored successfully. And yeah, I can click on OK and I can log out.
Now I will be enacting as an user and showing you how to fetch my certificate and if the certificate is available or not. So this is the page I will be viewing. So as I'm a user, I will be logging as an user, and now I have to enter my credentials. Let me enter my credentials. So after logging in, I can see the details of my certificate, the preview, the address of it. Now if I click get certificate, I can see my certificate which the administrator has issued. Now after viewing the certificate, I can log out from the application. So this is the demo of the application showing how the administrator will issue the certificate and how user will preview it. That's about the demo.
Page of our certificate manager application. I will now try to act as an organization and try to verify the certificate that I have. I will go ahead and click the verify button here. If I don't give an address and try to verify the certificate, it will ask me to enter a valid address or an address. I'll now go ahead and enter an address that I have with me. Here it shows the certificate is valid. And if I try to enter a wrong address or the address that is not present in the blockchain, it will give me that the certificate has not found for this address. This is the verification part of the application. We are now done with the demo and we are now moving on to the next slide of our presentation. Here we would like to show the project timeline, which describes the specific tasks that we have performed all these weeks and who has done what, and next are our references. Thank you.